All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about how you can make yourself a better reader, how to be a better reader, how to improve your ability to read. I'm going to cover all that in the video, so let's get down to it. So just as some background information, what I'm about to say is something I try to get across to all of my students when I'm teaching. I've mentioned before in other videos that the course I teach focuses on fiction and poetry. It's a reading and writing intensive course, but it leans more toward the creative side. Most of my students are interested in pursuing a career in the medical field or, as lawyers or engineers, STEM-related careers. But I love reading great stories and poems. So to communicate my love, a love which I think is rooted in the life-enriching benefits that I think reading has to offer, I've had to develop an approach that increases the probability of student engagement that would, make them feel like I actually cared about their learning and their growth. Because I genuinely do. I didn't want to just show up to teach and start peddling information to my students with the expectation that, they pay attention simply because, I'm the teacher and they're the student and this is what I assigned. I say all of that to contextualize my intentions. This is more or less what I communicate to my students at the beginning of the semester. I think being a better reader can help make you a better and more capable person. And that's my goal. So without further ado, let's really dive into things. So how can you become a better reader? First things first, slow and steady wins the race. If you pace yourself, the time you invest will offer you compounding returns, which means you'll basically read more books. And reading more books is essentially how you're going to become a better reader. A creator I really like, Max Joseph, made a video about the compounding benefits of reading called How to Read More Books in the Golden Age of Content. So I will put the link in the description, so definitely check that out after the video. But back to what I was saying, reading a little bit every day is going to add up. Set a goal that's sustainable, even if only, 15 minutes at a time, because the time is going to add up if you can sustain it long enough. And the effects of improving your ability to read are going to permeate across your life because the act of reading is most fundamentally a focus strengthening exercise. And improving your ability to concentrate, to focus, will help you optimize the time that you spend working on whatever it is that you need to do throughout the day. So reading is like running for your brain. You focus and you follow one idea train, a story, let's say, for as long as you can. And when we think about it like that, reading is basically long distance running for your brain. And consequently, it can be tough the way any physical activity can be tough, but we're going to treat reading like it's a daily exercise routine. I'll clarify a little bit. Maybe, your workouts are an hour or more. And maybe the first thing you think when you hear me telling you to read more is, that you just don't have the availability to squeeze another workout length activity into your event schedule. To which I'll say, you're probably right. We're all busy, so you probably don't have much time to read an hour every day, but honestly, unless you want to write fiction or write poetry professionally, there isn't much of a reason, I think, to read an hour or so every day if you don't want to. And I'll pause here to, just point out that this kind of brings us back to, something I've already mentioned, which is, I'm not telling you to strap into a chair and drag your eyes across line after line of text for an hour or 2 hours every night. What I'm saying is, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, if you can manage it. Aim low at first. For some reason, people think that the only way to read is to read for hours on end at a time. And I don't know why people think that, but it's just not the case. one of the best things you can do to improve your ability to read, is to just do what you can manage, and it's going to pay off. You just have to trust that it will pay off. You'll strengthen your ability to focus the same way that consistent exercise strengthens different parts of your body. And this brings me to my next point, which is if we're going to improve our reading, we have to first think small, but we also have to then have, this long-term mindset. Like I said before, a slow and steady pace wins the race, which, it probably sounds cliche. It's something you've heard before, that saying, but it's cliche because it's true. Do what you can maintain, do what you can consistently circle back to over time, and you will read more books, and that's going to make you a better reader. There's nothing that's especially glamorous about this. Even if you're only able to get through 10 pages a day, 10 pages a day times 30 days in a month is 1, maybe 2 books a month. And if you maintain that for a year, you're sitting at anywhere from 12 to 24 books. And I'm not saying that this plan is uniquely mine or glamorous or whatever, because it isn't. It's an old plan that most people are, for whatever reason, not really told. And I think this is really how you improve your reading. You do it the way you improve your physical fitness. You have to be consistently getting your reps in. And let's remember how reading benefits don't just stop at simply being a better reader. It's going to strengthen your ability to focus. And again, that's going to allow you to optimize the time you spend doing just about anything that matters to you. Okay, but at this point, I should say that it isn't only blood, sweat, and tears that gets the job done. Obviously, hard work and discipline are incredibly important, but maybe the best thing that you can do to improve your ability to read is to do yourself a favor and read what interests you, read what you enjoy, read what you think will help you best. And I'll add as a side note here that I'll be posting a video in the near future about what books I think are close to universally applicable for anyone interested in pursuing some kind of long-term goal. And these will just be books that I found to be interesting and helpful, which isn't to say that you'll necessarily find them engaging and helpful. I obviously hope you do, but they're just my suggestions. So that video will be coming in the future. But anyways, I'll stay on topic. Reading what interests you. Reading what interests you is so important, and I think this point gets lost in translation, in my opinion, because the average person's reading experience begins and ends in the K through 12 school system when they're essentially forced to read books that are praised, for the most part, for their literary value. And literary value is great, don't get me wrong. I want to write great books, I want to tell great stories. I'm here for those literary masterpieces. But those are my tastes, and not everybody's idea of time well spent includes 19th and 20th century novels. And honestly, it's probably better if it stays that way. But really, it's no wonder so many people have no interest in reading. K through 12 and even higher education, they associate reading with work. And I think that conditions people. It teaches them that reading is something that must be done the way your math homework must be done. And that strikes me as a terrible impression to make on students. It's no wonder so many people think they have no interest in reading when they go through school having no say in what they read. Meanwhile, you can go on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or Netflix or Instagram and have nothing but choice. And the ability to choose what interests you is so important for the formation of habit. Like I've said before, habit is a huge part in how you're going to become a better reader. It's all about consistency. Now, obviously, reading might still be hard. Like I've said, regardless of what book you decide on, you're still going to be doing the cognitive equivalent of exercising. That's what strengthening your ability to focus requires. But if you give yourself a little bit of freedom, you're making the job a lot easier. And reading books that interest you is basically like, doing exercises that interest you, or doing an exercise with proper form. If you're squatting and you place the bar asymmetrically on your shoulders, you're making the exercise that much harder for yourself. And in much the same way, when you try reading books that don't interest you, you're just making things harder for yourself. Okay, so what have we learned? 3 ways to improve your reading. The first, think small. But we're not going to be thinking small for the sake of just thinking small. We're going to be thinking small for consistency's sake. We're going to be thinking small because self-improvement and self-development isn't a single battle fought on a single day. It's a long-term campaign. And that's the second way that you can become a better reader. You have to have a long-term mindset. So we've got small, we've got long-term, and last but certainly not least, what I've just said, we've got interest. Read what interests you. You want to look forward to those 15 or 20 minutes you spend reading every day. And there are millions of books out there across any genre you can possibly imagine. So trust me when I say that books that relate to you and will help you improve your life and will enrich your life, whatever it is that you're looking for from a book, those books are out there. You just have to do some looking. All right, and that's all I got. I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I want to thank my amazing editor, Joey, for his help crunching these videos down. I really appreciate you. I couldn't do this without you. If you found this video interesting or at all helpful, let me know in the comments section below. And please smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. And yeah, I hope you have a nice rest of your day. Thanks, everyone.